mother's long-time friends. Debbie Lee is going to speak on behalf of her mother, June.
Hi. I think I'm going to repeat some of the things that Auntie Mamie said today, but I am Debbie Lee, and my mom was June Lee, who died just a couple years ago, part of the Seattle crowd. So I just thought I'd share a few things. My mom grew up in Seattle's International District, down the block from Auntie Mamie Chin's family. The Chinese American community was close and went to several schools in Seattle, so people knew each other, and they'd shop at Wasang, Auntie Mamie's store, and met each other there. I just heard that that's where Auntie Mamie met Auntie Dor early on. And they met through the Seattle Chinese Baptist Church. And through the church, as you've heard, all of these girls joined the Girl Reserves. It seems like there were nearly 40 girls that joined this group under Mrs. Rose Lu Sun. The Lu sisters were all members as well. And in 1980, my mom, June Lee, Mamie, and Auntie Dor organized the first reunion of the Seattle Girl Reserves, July 5th and 6th in 1980. In Seattle, at the homes of Mamie and my mom's relatives. In a letter from Auntie Helen Lulang, written to my mom, she said, "It was wonderful to giggle and reminisce and let our hair down and go back to our childhood ways." She went on to write, "In the old days, you, Mamie, and Dor were in a different group, but now, in later years, the age gap has disappeared to my good fortune." So the sisters also became part of this gang of Seattle girlfriends. And they started many reunions and vacations together. Auntie Dor, Mamie, and Mom seemed to be the organizing group. So they had kind of gathered and met each other a lot through the San Francisco Chinatown YWCA, where Lil Kwok was working, Sarah Choi was working, Emma Louie was there. Some of them roomed there, others worked there, as I heard for the first time that Auntie Dor actually had a job there. Over the years, they kept in touch, but raising their young children kept them in different friend groups, of course. But their friendship was really something to admire. The group of friends went on numerous vacations without their husbands and children, which is sort of, kind of revolutionary at that time. Thank goodness for the liberated husband. The Bay Area crew would get together around December 27th every year at some fancy restaurant. And their husbands and children were never invited. There were reunions in Seattle's, birthday parties, weddings, anniversaries, red egg parties, and other such shared family events. The vacations were 5 to 10 day trips, and they were many. And these are my mom's pictures that she got from Auntie Mamie and Dor, and I think Auntie Helen and some of the others, Lu sisters that took pictures. So I brought them all. These two albums are only the pictures of the girlfriends' trips. And here's a Mimeo letter from Auntie Dor with arranging their first gathering together. And then, as you can see here, here's a list of the girl reserves as well. Just want to get one more thing. Their vacations were to places like Deer Island, Maine, San Luis Obispo, Eastern Canada, Niagara Falls, Lake Tahoe, Salem, Massachusetts, Nova Scotia, New York, Feather River, Crane House in Louisville, of course, Friday Harbor, Washington, Santa Barbara, Yountville, Banff, Canada, Ashland, Oregon, Fort Bragg, Portland, Oregon, and Crater Lake in Los Angeles. And I'm sure I've missed many others. And many, many sleepovers, like all of these girls came to my mom's house. I think it was one of the early reunions, and they slept on the floor, and they slept, together in a double bed, and it was really quite cute, because I think they were all in about their 60s. Auntie Dora and Uncle Tom and my mom shared a commitment to social justice and community issues. She was such a sweet and always game to do so many things. She was really a real adventurer, as my mother was as well. I admired her sensibilities, her combination of sweetness and strength. She was always one to get things done when lots of the other ones were swirling with all kinds of ideas. So I just want to send my appreciation to Uncle Tom. We have a very special relationship, as a very important phone call we had, which he can tell you about later. So thank you very much, and I wish all the family the very best. You're welcome to speak Go ahead.
The other announcement is my dad's going to be hosting, I guess, any guest here that wants to continue chatting about the good old days up in El Cerrito.
Yeah, what's the address, Mike? I forget.
Okay, I don't know. I lost it too. I believe it's 917.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. 917 Balra Drive, right?
El Cerrito.
El Cerrito, 94530. Don't press your luck, my man. Oh, so we've got some grandkids. We were gonna. I don't know if there's somebody that wants to just speak now. We could do an open mic. We got a little. I wanted to save some time for like some songs, because there's somebody in this room that just gets off on singing campfire songs, whatever. Okay, so I don't need to mention any names. Andy, I don't want to embarrass you. But I know.
Well, no, hold it. Is that happening up in El Cerrito at the house?
Oh yeah, okay.
Nice cut.
Yeah, so there's a couple songbooks up at the house. I think there's a collection of 300 songs. So you could go all night, So did anybody really want to say something? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it looks like we have a couple people that really want to say something. Deborah, why don't you come on up? So Deborah is the daughter of Uncle Ray, who was the baby of the Lou family, of the 6 kids. She always has some appropriate things to say.
Well, this might be a first.
Maybe a first, inappropriate? No, that's Andy's job. Okay, costume change.
Go Sharks! I don't know how many I'm sure a lot of you know that Auntie Dora was a really avid supporter of local sports teams. I never dreamed, though, that she would add the San Jose Sharks to that list. Hoover and I got a chance to take her to a game in San Jose against the Columbus Blue Jackets. She got to see a penalty shot, a fight, and the Sharks' victory. And I know that she would be she'd be pulling for the team to win the Stanley Cup this year. Auntie Dora was a teacher dedicated to her students, and her legacy continues in her grandkids. David, also a teacher, and Luke, a school counselor who has a special connection with at-risk youth, and I think Marissa has coached kids in gymnastics. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, yes, okay. We all know about Auntie Dora, the world traveler, Auntie Dora, the avid photographer, Auntie Dora, the music appreciator. She went to symphony matinees a number of times. She went to a number of Leslie Chin's flute recitals, and in fact it's partly because she'd take part for those matinee performances into San Francisco that she and I started getting together for frequent lunches. I worked at the at the time in the Civic Center area, and we would have lunch before her performances, later expanding to Chinatown for lunch after I finished class. So these lunches and lunches she had with my sister Cynthia evolved into our semi-regular Liu ladies' lunches. And these lunches, so there was more than one lunch bunch that Auntie Dor was a part of. Those lunches expanded to include other female cousins that moved to the Bay Area, Audrey Chang, Kathy Lang, Andrea when she could make it down. Auntie Jean became a regular when she moved up from SoCal, and Auntie Helen, Beverly, and Kim joined us when they could. Those lunches later expanded to include the granddaughters more recently. It's been a while since Auntie Dor could join us in the Liu ladies' lunches, but we always saved a special place for her in our hearts. There's one last side of Auntie Dor that I want to share today, and that's of grandmother. Not just to her own grandkids, but to young kids in the neighborhood and the extended Liu clan. I've heard her young neighbors call her Popo, and you know they weren't Chinese, but they learned what the appropriate word was to call her. And when my brother Warner and his young wife brought their daughter Mackenzie down for her first trip to the Bay Area, she was barely a toddler. He took her to visit Auntie Dor and Uncle Tom for the first time, and he told me that when Mackenzie saw Auntie Dor, she immediately raised her arms for Auntie Dor to pick her up. Who could resist, right? Who could resist? That instantly melted Auntie Dor's heart. And I do have Mackenzie's permission to share that story with you today. Auntie Dor left each one of us with so many memories, ones that we will cherish for many, many years to come. I'm so lucky to have her in my life, and I just hope I can live up to the example that she set.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Our final open mic guest is going to be Uncle Butchie, who's known my family since the 40s, I believe. Before the kids. Okay.
It's the saying go, after you get fit, you gotta go to work. But I met the Chins, we were neighbors together in Berkeley in the late 40s. And they had about 4 children then. And so we were more or less designated as the surrogate aunts. So we invite them over to our television. At that time it was about 7 inches wide. So one evening I saw one of the kids bite into a gold chain, see? So I told Dorothy, what the kid's doing, you better take it out of his mouth. So she said to me, that's Tom's 5 better copper key. Now you know it, right? Remember that. So then, of course, we were together from 1949 until they moved to El Cerrito, and then we kept in touch every year because Dorothy and my wife had a birthday the same month, same hour, the same day. So we get to see each other quite often. So anyway, I want to thank the people that cater this delicious buffet, and I will remember this forever. So thank you.